I'm seeing all these videos right now where all these farmers are crying about not getting no help right now. You know what? Let me ask you something. When have you ever heard of a black farmer crying about it? Never. And you want to know why? Because they ain't never got no help in the first place. That's right. USDA's literally admitted to discriminating against black farmers. And literally black farmers had to sue, thousands of them, to get what white farmers are handed for free. And fast forward to today, all these farmers crying that they can't get no help. You see, black farmers, they've been struggling. Y'all just now feeling what they've been feeling for over 100 years. Black farmers, they used to own over 19 million acres of land. But guess what? Systematic racism, denied loans, shady politicians, and legal loopholes wiped them all out. Yeah. And now they're 1% of America's farmland. When the government finally tried to pass relief for the black folk back in 2021, white farmers sued to block it, claimed it was reverse discrimination. Make that make sense. So, next time you see folks complaining about farm aid, why don't you ask them, where's the help for the black farmers? Ask them why their struggle is just now important when others have been suffering for centuries.
I voted for Trump because I thought that his racist policies were only going to negatively affect those black and those brown people. I didn't realize he was also sexist and classist and was going to make working conditions for the average American worker more difficult, or put small agricultural farmers out of business, or not let women work in the federal government. I didn't realize that making the world unlivable for some would eventually affect me. Oh, you didn't realize? But it was fine, so long as those black and those brown people were suffering. Oh, okay.
Well, these sad clips have been sent to me 10,000 times.
They say that, among other things, they've been harassed and their property vandalized.
We are stalked. We are harassed.
I mean, if people knew how much trouble we were having trying to grow these chickens, they would stop eating chicken. I mean, it's just that simple.
So, what are the practical steps a black farmer can take to avoid racism in agriculture? Embrace the concept of maneuver warfare and discard any notions of attrition warfare when it comes to battling racism. If you try to fight racism head-on through attrition, you will lose because you're on the under-resourced side. Maneuver warfare emphasizes movement, initiative, and surprise to gain a position of advantage over your opponent. What does that look like in real life? Here's a few things to help you out. Number 1, do not uproot yourself from your social support network. Don't uproot your life and move out to the country where you don't know anyone. Make sure you come into your enterprise with plenty of money and resources to minimize your dependence on people who may not enjoy your presence. Also, embrace the fact that your mere existence will be perceived as an act of war and a threat. You don't have to do anything to provoke racism. Your mere existence is enough. Avoid engaging in self-segregation. Find yourself some nice white allies who are willing to understand that black leadership is okay. Then deploy your allies into potentially uncomfortable situations with the bank, the FSA, the FDA, various regulators, the mechanic, and the landlord. Finding these accomplices who can navigate the racist world will take years, which brings us to another point. Don't be in a hurry. Finding my accomplices for Blackbird took 6 years. It helps a lot to come in with big plans that will make you a major employer and purchaser, especially in small rural communities. Make them economically dependent on you, and they're less likely, though still likely, to F with you. Be careful about advertising social justice in your various media. Instead, simply do it while remaining quiet about it. Hire those POC managers and employees, perhaps at a disproportionate rate, and simply say that they were the ones who were the most qualified, which usually happens to be true anyway. That's right, friend. Use the same de facto DEI that makes agriculture 99% white against them and for your own purposes. Do these things and enjoy a long and relatively bullcrap-free career in agriculture.
As black people, we don't have the luxury of waiting anymore. Some estimate over 13 million acres of farmland has been stolen from black people over the 20th century. Not just farmland. Imagine the potential wealth. Imagine the potential freedom. Imagine the potential generational wealth that has been ripped from the pockets of black people.
I told you, I'm glad you finally decided you was going to. I pushed over all this damn wood and I ain't got time to be buying no fence posts. These are the fence posts. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, and there's more sitting right
They give me 7 feet down there.
The pros are you don't have to pay for these fence posts. And when you're dealing with a property of this size, to pay for this entire property to be not just fenced around, but also fencing in your food and then fencing in your animals and stuff like that. I mean, the price would just absolutely be insane. So it's a blessing to be able to have access to the material that you need. But one thing about it, you gonna work for it. You gonna fucking work for it.
Go get your brothers and him.
Are you guys going to tell them what the names of the puppies are?
That's all you gotta do. Wag the stick in front of it. I think this is the fat one. This one's name is Groot.
That's the ugly one. This can.
Yeah.
Tell you, man, these different types of wood, some of this shit way more dense than others. Some of this stuff pretty light. And then some of this shit is heavy as hell. I know that.
I'm truly thankful that we do have access to the materials that we need, but we've been out here cutting these fence posts. I haven't made up my mind if we're going to strip the bark and stuff like that off of them. I know that stripping the bark off of them is necessary so that we can get the proper coating on them so that they don't deteriorate or rot out or stuff like that over time. But I've been doing my research and it seems like on a lot of this wood, plus we out here in a lot of sandy soil, so I don't have to worry about as much moisture getting to it. But even still with that, I'm still thinking we probably have about a 5-year lifespan on the short end, even if I don't strip the bark off of it and coat it with something. They have to understand it. The most precious resource that you have access to is brotherhood. I might not have enough alone. You might not have enough alone. But together, we have everything that we need. Nobody's coming to save black people out of this hell. But what we do have is one another, and that's all we need to save ourselves.
Tell the people what you do.
Oh, we're not Congo fam.
Sometimes it's best to not focus on the big picture. Instead, focus on small incremental tasks, and the big picture will take care of itself.
Most of these farms are century farms. They've been in y'all's family for over 100 years. And now they come in, wanna disrupt y'all with a road, cutting y'all from the road. They telling us about economic growth for everybody. It's not gonna be economic growth for everybody. Because they fencing us all from the road. Yes. They're not gonna give us access to that highway to make money. They're gonna sit right there and raise taxes on us until they can sweat us out this land that we still own.
That's right.
And then after they get it out of our hands, then they'll develop it. Yeah. But just hold on. Hold on. Don't give in. Fight on. Yeah. You know, we David. You know, he slowed Goliath. Yes. So we a little bunch. But we can make a lot of noise. Oh, yes. And do not let them divide us.
That's right.
If they divide us, they gonna conquer us. Right. So just hold steadfast and hold on. And just keep pushing. And don't let them just push us. Now back to this.
Exactly right. And you could look at the brother from South Carolina, we ain't heard a word from him. Nope. And you know, we got thousands of black farmers in his state, you know, that need help and assistance. Right now, black farmers don't have farm operating loans in place in this planting season. And we need for, you know, our people to come together and help support these brothers. We should have our corn planters in the field right now rolling. They have, they're closing up local offices, and they're doing, and they have done away, ain't doing away with anything that had to do with color at USDA and NRCS, Farm Service Agency, Rural Development. The agencies that are supposed to be extending credit out here, they went away and done away with civil rights directors in those agencies. Anybody that was doing anything around color, they're already gone. So I want to be very, very clear. Those positions have been terminated, and they fired them, and they fired these people. That's what this president is doing to black people in this country, and we're too silent about it, in my opinion.
Questions from the panel. Mustafa, you first.
Yeah. Well, John, it's good to see you again. I remember the time we met.
Hey, brother, how you doing? Thank you for what you do.
Yes, sir. I'm blessed. I remember our signing at EPA years ago.
Yes.
You know, we got 48 million black folks in our country. And if you had the ability, and this is one of the platforms, to be able to speak to them, what would you ask them to do in this moment to address the issues that are happening to our black farmers across the country?
Go out and support us, blackfarmers.org. That's the first thing you got to do. You don't have to be a farmer to support this cause. I want to be very, very clear here. That's the biggest thing you can do to come out and support black farmers right now. Make your contribution is the second thing that you can do. And stay in contact and spread the information. This particular segment needs to be on everybody's timeline tonight. Share this show right now on all of your social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever suits your fancy. Post this segment out there tonight so people can get the facts about what's going on in America.
Larry?
Yeah, thank you for your time and everything you do for black farmers. It's critically important. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, there's a long history of black farming in the United States. A lot of folks don't know about, you know, our history in agriculture. Can you talk about what the future could look like? You talked about some of the challenges, particularly the tariffs. Could you, and I know it's having a major impact on farmers in general. And we talked about the challenges that black farmers encounter. What could the future of black farming look like with tariffs, particularly with the tariffs?
These motherfuckers telling me I'm gutting my own goddamn pigs. I'm stealing my own goddamn goats. Well, where am I keeping them?
What it do, family? In case you guys were unaware of the Black Colorado ranchers, Courtney and Nicole Mallory, who is facing domestic terrorism by their white neighbors in Colorado Springs, let me make you aware. A black couple rebuilt their lives after losing everything in a hurricane. They never thought that they'd be thrown into a fight for their ranch and possibly their lives in a predominantly white and hostile Colorado County. Every night on Freedom Acres Ranch is a gamble of life and death for black cattleman Courtney Mallory and his wife Nicole. As of late, he's most likely will find tools destroyed, a prize calf stolen, or one of his hogs with their entrails spewing from slit bellies. Beheaded and butchered goat carcasses are a common sight. Recently, his newly born calf vanished. Not long ago, the mother of his Pyrenees puppies was poisoned along with several pigs. Often, he picks up animal remains on the farm and has had to put out fires like when the chicken coop was set ablaze. To make the situation more tenuous, the Mallory's fence has been damaged over 10 times. Frequently, they must replace surveillance equipment after seeing strangers pointing a device towards their cameras, which ends up jamming them and taking them out of the signal. Plus, their electricity lines have been cut and neighbors have stolen well water by running illegal lines from their source. One day, Courtney was chased by a white man when repairing a portion of his fence. The aggressor, who was in a car, gunned for Courtney, who made it to his vehicle in just enough time to dash away in a hellish pursuit. Once he made it to the end of his property, the man steered the other way. One evening, Nicole was followed by a white woman who almost ran her car off the road, then put on her high beams and pulled out what looked like a gun. The confrontation was exceptionally unnerving because Nicole was returning from a church function with her visiting niece and nephew. Even the post office worker asks us why we are here, says Courtney. A regular phrase told to Courtney is that he has a lot of balls to purchase land in the mostly white community. What puts me on edge is that everyone knows us and how we look, but we don't know them, Courtney tells Ark Republic. This is just some of the reports of the terrorism the Houston transplant says his family has experienced since the purchase of the 1,000-acre ranch in El Paso County, Colorado in August of 2020. Courtney Mallory alleges he and his wife have been the target of local whites who wants them off of their land. When asked why he thinks he's being targeted, Courtney claims the rural community wants to quote-unquote steal his land, especially after he turned down numerous requests to lease his acreage to local whites. To worsen his predicaments, he alleges the El Paso County Sheriff, Sergeant Emory Ray Gerhardt, has been complicit in the concerted effort to move his family off of their land and even participates in the ongoing racialized actions. On multiple occasions, the county sheriff is captured on Freedom Acres Ranch footage in his patrol car driving around the perimeter of the Mallory's property. Ironically, he has yet to take a police report from the Mallory's for their numerous complaints of trespassing strangers, animal death on their property, and a list of other offenses. Courtney told Ark Republic that Sheriff Gerhardt has even forbidden them from using a portion of their land for their ranching enterprise. For 2 years, the Mallorys have lived in fear and rage. Courtney even went to the state commissioner's meeting to complain when his numerous calls to local law enforcement went unheard. Nothing happened. He believes it's because they're all related through marriage, blood, or multi-generational kinship. However, the louder Courtney and Nicole got, the more aggressive the hostility became. Gerhardt told me that if I keep calling the police, he's going to arrest me, Courtney recounts, just days before he discovered an arrest warrant had been issued to him and Nicole by Sheriff Gerhardt. We are upset. We are here to fight, but they're trying to silence us and make us look like we're crazy. An exasperated Courtney told Ark Republic, they are trying to steal my land and lock us up to cover this up. On Thursday, January 12, 2023, the Mallorys received a warrant filed on December 14, 2022 in the mail. Charges are stalking, tampering with utility meter, and petty theft. The letter states that they must turn themselves in and be prepared to pay a $2,000 bond. The charges are felonies and can lead to jail time. This gives local authorities probable cause, Dr. Rolanda Spencer told the Arc Republic. Dr. Spencer is a social justice professor at Xavier University who has worked in criminal justice and re-entry for almost 20 years.
Have you noticed that there's one group that has not made any noise or made videos complain about Trump's policies hurting them or their business? Black farmers. How many videos have you seen of black farmers, excuse me, making videos going, oh, I'm going to lose my farm because Trump cut off benefits. I'm going to lose my farm because the Department of Agriculture no longer gives me subsidy. How many videos have you seen of black farmers doing that?
Did you know a black woman once started a farm to feed her entire community, but the system made sure it didn't last? I bet you didn't, so let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? I'm Antoinette. I talk about food, homemaking in the kitchen through a historical Black American lens. It's Black History Month, and every day I'm bringing you a new Black History food fact. Today we're talking about Fannie Lou Hamer, not just a civil rights leader, but a food justice warrior. In 1969, she started the Freedom Farm Cooperative to help Black families become self-sufficient by owning land, growing their own food, and raising livestock. She knew that real freedom wasn't just about voting, it was about feeding our own communities. But the U.S. government and local white leaders did everything they could to shut it down. Banks refused to give loans, white businesses wouldn't sell seed or equipment, and the USDA blocked funding. And when Hamer tried to buy more land, local officials made sure the deals fell through. Eventually, the farm collapsed because of systemic racism, and Black land law still affects us today. In 1920, Black farmers owned 14% of the U.S. farmland. Today, less than 2%. And Black communities still struggle with food insecurity, something Fannie Lou Hamer fought to prevent.
That's because Black farmers have historically, till this day, been excluded from all government subsidies. So right now, every white farmer is learning how to survive the same way Black farmers have been surviving. Like I said, what Trump was going to do was bring every white American down to the Black American level. Welcome to nigga.
She once said, if you give a hungry man food, he'll eat for a day, but if you give him land, he'll feed himself for a lifetime. And that's the Black History food fact you needed to know.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.